Hello, hello, friends. All right, I'm going to get down here on the ground, get cozy with you for a minute because I want to talk about one of the heaviest thoughts that wipes out a lot of potential, that removes the possibilities and the dreams from ever happening or ever being chased after in network marketing. And it almost took out our family's reality right now. When I got started in network marketing, I was 23 years old. I've been doing this now for 13 years. It's our family's full-time income, and we get to live a life on our own time. The time has been the best gift. Imagine if you and your husband or your spouse, if you didn't have to clock in, clock out anywhere. You didn't have a boss telling you when to work. You didn't have even employees that you had to show up to work for. None of that. You were on your own time. Wake up when you want, do what you want. That's what it has allowed our family. So we've been able to travel, we've been able to farm, all of these amazing blessings. But that almost didn't happen because of this thought that I carried as a big, heavy burden in my first couple years in network marketing. And it was, am I good enough? Am I actually good enough to be successful at this? Have you ever felt that? Have you ever, especially if you're new or it's in your first couple of months or first couple of years, have you thought, I'm gonna try, but I don't know if I'm good enough or if I can be good enough to be successful, right? If you felt that, you know how heavy and burdensome it is. And what happens is every time you have anything slightly negative happen in your business progression, let's say someone doesn't respond to a message, or someone that you thought was going to order says, never mind, I'm not interested, or you put a post up and nobody comments on it, or maybe your sideline or someone that started at the same time as you, they're doing better, they're succeeding faster, and you see that and think, look at it. There's evidence. They achieved it and I didn't. They started way later and look at them. That person didn't respond. And so it must be me. It must be that it is true, that thought in the back of my head that maybe I'm not good enough and I can't be. You know that feeling? Okay. So I want you to picture this. Let's say you wanted to learn the guitar. You've never played the guitar before, but you want to learn it. You see other people playing it, looks amazing, sitting around the campfire, singing songs with the family. You want that. You want that accomplishment in your life and those experiences. So you decide, I'm going to learn to play the guitar. I'm so excited about where it's going to go. So you pick up that guitar and you think, but am I good enough to play this guitar? Am I good enough to do this? Let me see. That's my fail to time. Oh, that sounded terrible. Oh no, that's bad. Oh, that's rough. Maybe I'm not good enough. Never mind. Let me put this down. That would be silly, right? Nobody would ever do that. Why? Because you know that in order to get good enough, that's not something you're naturally born with. Let me just pick up a guitar and immediately I'm able to do it, right? It's a skill that you have to learn. You would understand that terrible feeling and the calluses that you have to build on your finger because it hurts to push on those strings, and your fingers are fresh. These are baby fingers. They've never had to have this grit before, right? You would understand that pain, that noise, the results coming out of the guitar, that was because you were new. You didn't have these skills. You were having to take lessons. You were having to watch YouTube videos. You were having to put in a lot of practice to build up those calluses and that ability to build up the skill to strum correctly and hit the chords. It is no different in your business, friend. It is no different. You have to have the messages that people don't respond to and put up the posts that don't get comments. You have to have the people that say, I'm going to order, and then they don't. And you got to learn how to follow up and help them move towards the excitement of an order. You have to have the people that progress faster than you and you get to be inspired by. Look, that's what happens if I keep playing. That's what happens. That's where I'm going. You have to have that all around you. It's not about if you are good enough to be successful, it's will I learn the skills that equal success? Will I stay at this long enough to gain the calluses and learn the skills to equal success? That's the question. I wish someone would have reframed it for me. And maybe if I had voiced it, someone would have. But I carried that thought so close and so secretly because I felt a sense of shame I don't want people to know that I think this or that I think that. Um, but here's the truth. It wasn't if I was good enough. It's will I stay in it long enough and learn the skill sets and go through that pain and discomfort that is necessary to achieve success. So that's the question for yourself. The next time that thought, that doubt comes up, am I good enough? Maybe you can say, hey, you know what, self? I'm not right now. And that would be silly to expect it. Because just like learning a guitar, just like any other career, network marketing is a career. It's something that you progress in. It's something that you serve others in. It's something that you grow your skill set in. I've been in this 13 years. In another 10 years, in another 10 years, in 23 years, I'm going to have such a higher level of skill set than I do right now. I hope to be doing network marketing because of the blessing we've experienced and others have in my organization. I hope to be doing this when I'm 70 years old. The skill set, the wisdom that I will have and the experiences at 70 in this career will be so much greater than 13 years. And I'm excited to meet that version of myself. That doesn't mean that what I'm doing now is not effective or helpful or good. It means that I get to still progress. So do you. Whether it's your first month, your first year, your fifth year, you get to still progress. We understand this concept in every other career. If you wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor or a mechanic or any career you can imagine, you would understand that most likely you have to go to college, you have to get a master's degree or a bachelor's degree, you have to put in years so that you can get to take the exam, the teacher's exam, so that you can take the bar, so that you can get hired in a mechanic shop. You got to be an apprentice and learn and work under someone else, right? We understand that in other careers. It is no different than network marketing. So if that thought sneaks up again, I want you to silence it so fast. Don't let that lie of a thought steal what could be for you. Silence it so quick and say, you know what? This is not truth of can I, it's will I, and yes, I will. I will progress my skills. I will get out of my comfort zone. I will do the harder thing than just what's easy. When it gets uncomfortable, because now I feel awkward, I don't really know what I'm doing. When it gets uncomfortable, awesome. That means I'm learning. Because when it was comfortable and it was easy, there was no progress happening. I can't progress in the easy. I only progress when it's difficult. Just like when you're in the gym, you only make progress in your muscle building if it's heavy. If you're picking up a light weight, and maybe you've been lightweighting it in your business, if you've been just, messaging a couple people that are like your friends and, putting up one post here and you've been lightweighting it, don't wonder why your results aren't bigger. You got to pick up the heavy weight. You got to have good form, a coach that teaches you. You got to stay connected, like showing up in the gym. You got to stay connected to your community. Pick up heavier and heavier weights because that is what builds the muscle. That is what builds your business. So I want you to write it down on a piece of paper, put it everywhere. I will gain the skill set. I gain the skill set through doing the next harder thing because I want to live. Do you want to live with the results of what success in this business can bring? If that's what you want to live with, then enjoy the progress and the journey of developing into that success. All right, friends, I hope this was a blessing to you, and I'm excited to hear your stories of progressing through and what happens on the other end of that.